1 hour a day is your chance to build a better tomorrow. Every minute counts when you're focused on progress. Imagine what your life would look like if you spent just 1 hour a day doing something that moves you closer to your dreams. Success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about taking one powerful hour each day and making it count. What if you could transform your entire life by spending just 1 hour a day? What if the key to your future success, health, and happiness is found in the small decisions you make every single day? What if the biggest obstacle standing in your way is not the lack of time, but the way you choose to spend the time you have? Imagine just 1 hour every day to work on your dreams, improve yourself, and break through the limits you've set. Do you feel stuck? Do you wonder why others seem to get ahead while you stay where you are? The answer might be simpler than you think. It's not about huge sacrifices or drastic changes. It's about taking control of 1 hour and using it to change your life day by day. The question is, are you ready to take that first step? So if you're ready to take control, break your limits, and start transforming your life completely, let's dive in. Number 1, dedicate 1 hour daily to building your future. If you want real change, not just for a day or a week, but for your life, then you must learn the value of an hour. Not just any hour. I'm talking about 1 hour where you take full control of your time. 1 hour where you decide this is not for the world, not for entertainment, not for distractions, but for your future. You see, we all have 24 hours. The difference is not in time. The difference is in choice. You don't need a full day to turn your life around. You don't need to quit your job or move to a new city or wait for January. You need to find 1 hour and take it seriously. Not just once, but every day. And that hour will begin to shape everything else. Because in that 1 hour, you're going to do what most people avoid. You're going to build your mindset, build your habits, build your future. It starts by deciding that your future deserves at least one focused hour. If you can give your boss 8 hours and give your phone 3 more, you can give yourself just 1. You can wake up 1 hour earlier. You can stay up 1 hour later. You can choose 1 hour during your lunch. It's not about convenience. It's about priority. And when your future becomes a priority, 1 hour is not a burden. It becomes your breakthrough. Now what do you do in that hour? You don't scroll. You don't waste it with background noise. You don't let the world invade it. You use that hour with purpose. You learn. You study. You write. You train your body. You train your mind. You reflect. You journal. You plan. You set goals. You face yourself in that hour and ask, who am I becoming? 1 hour is more than time. It's a commitment. That commitment builds something powerful inside you. It's discipline. It's consistency. It's belief. Because when you show up for yourself every day, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when life is messy, you prove to yourself that you matter. You're no longer waiting for someone else to hand you opportunity. You're creating it. And it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to show up. 1 page read today might change how you think. 1 new skill practiced might lead to a better job. 1 journal entry might reveal something you've ignored for years. That hour becomes the doorway to awareness. And with awareness comes change. We've all been told success takes work. That's true, but it also takes time that you control. Most people are working hard, but they're not working on themselves. They're building someone else's dream. They're following someone else's schedule. And that's why they stay stuck. They don't own even 1 hour of their day. But you can. And when you do, everything begins to shift. Imagine stacking 1 hour every day for a week. That's 7 hours. That's nearly a full working day devoted to your future. Stack that for a month. That's over 30 hours. Stack it for a year. That's over 300 hours. That's like adding weeks to your life, dedicated only to growth. And if you think that doesn't make a difference, you haven't tried it yet. You haven't felt what it's like to become consistent with your future. And you don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to impress anyone. This is private. This is personal. This is about who you are when no one's watching. That's where the real progress is made. When you choose to grow in silence. When you say, I may not have the perfect plan, but I have 1 hour, and I will not waste it. That hour might feel small at first. It might feel like it's not enough. But that's only because we've been trained to expect instant results. Real transformation doesn't shout. It shows up slowly. It builds day by day. And then one day you look in the mirror, and you realize you're no longer the same. You think different. You feel stronger. You stand taller. And all you did was protect 1 hour a day, and use it with purpose. There will be days when motivation fades, when stress is high, when things go wrong. But that hour is yours. No matter what happens around you, that hour can be your anchor. A time to reset. A time to grow. A time to connect to the person you're working to become. And as you do this, something else happens. You begin to respect yourself more. You begin to expect more from your time, from your choices, from your relationships. Because you're no longer just reacting to life. You're building it, step by step, hour by hour. Some people will say it's not enough. They'll say you need more time. But those are the ones who never even started. They're waiting for the perfect moment, the ideal conditions, the right schedule. But life doesn't wait. And neither should you. 1 hour today beats one someday every time. Your mind grows stronger. Your habits get tighter. Your emotions become clearer. You start building clarity, confidence, courage. And it all comes from choosing not to waste that hour. Because that hour isn't just about productivity. It's about becoming someone you're proud of. Someone who honors their time. Someone who doesn't quit. Someone who says, this time I show up for me. No one will do it for you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not your boss. This is your work. Your responsibility. And when you realize that, it becomes empowering. Because you don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to beg life for change. You make it 1 hour at a time. You'll begin to notice the shift. You'll see how that 1 hour starts to influence the rest of your day. You'll make better choices. You'll think more clearly. You'll stop tolerating things that waste your time. That 1 hour teaches you how to value time. Not just in that moment, but all day long. And when you value time, you protect it. You fight for it. You use it for things that matter. It starts with 1 hour. But it leads to a new identity. Because when you act like someone who values growth, discipline and purpose, you become someone who lives that way. You don't just talk about change. You live it, and you feel it in your bones. You don't need more time. You don't need better luck. You don't need to wait for anyone to believe in you. You need to decide that today you will give yourself 1 hour, and then tomorrow you'll do it again. Because that's how it starts.
That's
how everything changes. That's how you take control of your life. Number 2. Transform your mindset with 1 focused hour daily. The direction of your life depends on the condition of your mind. What you believe, how you think, what you allow into your thoughts, these shape your choices, your energy, and your future. Most people go through life reacting. They let their thoughts be shaped by noise, by other people's opinions, by the stress of the day. But the truth is, your mind was never meant to be on autopilot. Your mind was meant to be trained, sharpened, and built with intention. And you can begin to do that with just 1 hour a day. That 1 hour is where you sit down, no distractions, and you begin the real work of building the mindset that can carry your goals, your habits, your relationships, and your success. You don't wait until the world quiets down. You don't wait until the schedule opens up. You claim this hour. This is your time to take charge of what you think, how you think, and why you think the way you do. You see, everything starts in the mind. Confidence starts in the mind. Discipline starts in the mind. Courage starts in the mind. If your mindset is weak, your habits will collapse under pressure. If your mindset is scattered, your priorities will constantly shift. If your mindset is full of doubt, you'll talk yourself out of every opportunity. But if your mindset is strong, focused, and clear, you become someone who follows through, someone who leads, someone who doesn't fold when life gets hard. Spending one focused hour every day on your mindset is not a motivational activity. It's not just about feeling good. It's a strategic move. It's how you prepare yourself for the demands of your life. You take that hour and you study principles that make people stronger. You read books that challenge your thinking. You sit with your own thoughts and you question your beliefs. You ask yourself why you've been holding back. You listen to voices that lift your thinking. You write down what you've learned. You write down what you need to change. That hour gives you space to clean up the mental mess. All the negative self-talk you've been carrying around. All the fears that don't belong to you. All the habits of thinking that were passed down to you, but don't serve you anymore. In that hour, you start rewiring how you respond to setbacks, how you view yourself, and how you see the world around you. When you use that hour wisely, you stop living from impulse. You stop being tossed around by emotion. You start to think deliberately. You choose your response. You create space between stimulus and reaction. That's not easy, but it's worth it. Because a powerful mindset doesn't show up in big moments only. It shows up when someone disrespects you and you don't lower your standard. It shows up when you want to quit and you remember what you're working for. It shows up when life is uncertain and you remain steady because you trained your mind to lead, not follow. Most people want to change their life without changing their thoughts. But nothing changes until your mindset changes. You can change your location, your schedule, your job, your goals, but if your mindset stays the same, the results will follow the same pattern. It is your mindset that makes the difference between progress and self-sabotage. And that's why that 1 hour every day matters. And this isn't about motivation. This is about identity. That hour teaches your mind that you are the kind of person who takes yourself seriously. It tells your brain that you matter, that your growth matters, that your peace matters, that your mental health is not an afterthought. When you do this daily, you begin to walk different, talk different, think different. Not because someone told you to, but because you put in the time to recondition how you think. You're not trying to be perfect in that hour. You're training, you're preparing, you're stripping away the thoughts that slow you down and replacing them with ones that empower you. You're not chasing hype. You're building inner strength. You're reminding yourself that you are not a product of your past. You are a product of the thoughts you consistently feed. In this hour, you can learn how to break patterns. Patterns of procrastination, patterns of anxiety, patterns of overthinking. You can confront them, understand where they came from, and begin to replace them. You can study decision-making. You can learn how to manage your emotions. You can build awareness around your triggers and responses. These are not things you learn by accident. These are things you train deliberately. And when you do this daily, that training becomes natural. Your thoughts become clearer. Your reactions become calmer. Your intentions become sharper. People will notice, but more importantly, you will feel it. You'll feel a shift in how you approach difficulty. You'll stop getting overwhelmed so easily. You'll stop needing approval from everyone. You'll stop chasing things that don't fulfill you. You'll be grounded, focused, aware. That one focused hour teaches you how to reset your mindset before the world gets to you. Before stress, deadlines, criticism, and noise can pull you off track. You already set your mental foundation. You already decided how you'll show up. That means you're not reacting all day long. You're choosing. You're leading. You're aligned with your values, your mission, and your purpose. And don't underestimate what that hour can do. 1 hour a day turns into 7 hours a week. That's time you use to upgrade your entire way of thinking. Over a year, that adds up to over 300 hours spent mastering your mind. Most people will never spend even a fraction of that. They'll spend more time worrying than they do preparing. But you're not most people. You decided your mind is worth the time. Even if you're busy, even if your schedule is packed, that hour exists. You may have to trade sleep. You may have to put your phone down. You may have to sacrifice comfort. But you gain clarity. You gain strength. You gain direction. You stop being confused. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop giving up when it gets hard. That's the power of mindset. When you own that hour, you begin to lead your life from the inside. No more hoping things go your way. No more blaming the outside world. You become someone who knows exactly who they are and where they're going. You make better choices. You protect your peace. You sharpen your goals. You remove distractions. You keep promises to yourself. And as your mindset transforms, your life follows. You start moving different. You start attracting better relationships. You recognize opportunities you used to overlook. You don't need permission to grow. You just need consistency. That hour becomes your foundation. That hour is where the future begins to form. Not outside, but inside your own mind. Number 3. Use 1 hour daily to upgrade your entire life. There is no shortcut to a better life, but there is a system. One that's within reach. One that doesn't require more talent, more resources, or even more time than you already have. It starts with 1 hour, 60 minutes, and not for entertainment or scrolling or distraction, but for growth, intentional growth. Every single day you are given another chance to do something meaningful with your time, and when you choose to use just 1 hour with full focus and effort, you begin to change the way your life looks and feels. Most people say they want more from life, but they keep waiting for the right moment. They say they'll start when it feels easier or when things slow down, but life doesn't slow down, it gets louder. And the longer you wait to take control, the more distant your goals become. 1 hour daily isn't just a routine, it's a decision. It's proof that you are not content with staying the same. It's your way of saying, I will not settle, I will not drift, I will not wait for luck. This 1 hour is not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's about asking yourself what part of your life needs upgrading, and then doing the work. Maybe it's your health. You take that hour and you exercise. You cook something nourishing. You take care of your body because you understand your energy, your focus, your confidence. It all starts there. Or maybe it's your skills. You sit down and you study. You practice. You go deeper into your craft. You stop consuming and start creating. That's how you begin to rise above average. There is no area of your life that stays the same when you dedicate daily time to it. If your relationships are important to you, use that hour to reflect, to reconnect, to communicate better, to listen. If your finances matter, use it to learn how to budget, invest, or earn in smarter ways. If you want to lead others, start leading yourself for 1 powerful hour every single day. That's how transformation begins. Not with a massive change overnight, but with consistent effort in the same direction. Every hour you use with full attention adds momentum to your life. It pulls you away from drifting and puts you back in control. The more you do this, the clearer things become. You no longer waste time on what drains you. You no longer chase things that keep you stuck. You stop pretending to be busy and start being productive. This isn't about hustle, it's about clarity. When you know what matters and you give it your full energy for just 1 hour a day, your priorities change. Your standards rise. You start thinking like someone who's building something that lasts. The truth is, most people spend their free time trying to escape their life. They numb themselves with noise and entertainment and wonder why nothing improves. But you're not here to escape. You're here to improve. That 1 hour gives you space to check in with yourself, to ask if you're living in alignment with who you want to be. It gives you the room to shift directions if needed, to correct bad habits, to learn new ones. It teaches you how to value time in a way most people never learn. It's not about making huge progress every day. It's about showing up daily and making sure that your actions match your vision. If you do that long enough, your life begins to reflect the effort. You begin to feel stronger, think faster, speak more clearly, move more deliberately. You stop stumbling through days and start building them with precision. You stop being a prisoner of your environment and start becoming the architect of it. Some people wait years for their lives to change. They keep wishing for breakthroughs, but wishing is not a plan. What changes a life is action. Small deliberate action taken repeatedly. That 1 hour, when used wisely, teaches you the power of personal responsibility. No one's going to fix your life for you. No one's coming to hand you discipline, clarity, health, or purpose. It's your job, And when you step into that job with ownership, you earn the rewards that come with it. And you don't need to be perfect. You don't need every detail figured out. You just need to show up every single day and upgrade one part of your life. You reflect, you plan, you execute, you correct, you grow. You use the time to think intentionally, not just move through tasks blindly. You make space to review what's working and what's not. That alone separates you from most of the world. And as you do this daily, your belief starts to shift. You begin to see that change is possible because you're proving it to yourself. You don't need permission. You don't need outside validation. You've got results. You feel it. You see it. You live it. Every single day you get a little closer to the life you actually want. That kind of progress creates peace. That kind of effort builds confidence. Not fake confidence, but the kind that's earned by showing up for yourself even when it's uncomfortable. You'll begin to notice that life doesn't overwhelm you as much. You handle pressure better. You think more calmly. You know what to say no to. You protect your hour because you know what it does for you. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't get it because you're too busy building. That hour becomes sacred, not because it's easy, but because it's real. It's yours. Over time, that hour upgrades your focus. You stop scattering your attention and start getting things done. You stop second guessing and start deciding. You stop overthinking and start executing. Every choice becomes sharper. Every step becomes more intentional. You're no longer moved by every little thing that comes your way. You're anchored. 1 hour of real effort daily teaches you how to honor your life. It gives you a rhythm, a center, a direction. It trains your nervous system to handle pressure without collapsing. It strengthens your discipline. It sharpens your instincts. You become aware of who you are and who you're becoming. And that's the beginning of real transformation. Number 4. Take daily control of your habits for real change. The quality of your life is built from the habits you practice every single day. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your patterns. And the truth is, if you want a better future, if you want to experience real change, not just talk about it, not just dream about it, you have to take control of your habits. Not once in a while. Not when life is convenient, but daily. That's where the shift begins. Every habit you have is shaping you. Whether it's helping you or hurting you, it's doing something. It's moving you somewhere. And until you take control of that, your life won't change in any meaningful way. You can have the right intentions, but if your habits are weak, your results will reflect that. You can want discipline, but if your daily actions lead you away from growth, you're going to feel stuck. Taking control of your habits means you stop living on autopilot. You stop saying, "That's just the way I am." You start paying attention to how you spend your time, where your attention goes, and what behaviors repeat. You start catching the patterns that keep you small. You stop defending the habits that drain your energy and rob you of progress. You begin to challenge the parts of your day that no longer serve the person you're becoming. And you don't need to change everything overnight. That's not how transformation works. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about choosing one habit, one shift, one change that aligns with the life you actually want, and doing it again the next day. And again, real change is built on consistency. It's what you do daily that shows up in your results, not what you do occasionally. Control means ownership. You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait until you feel like it. You build the muscle of showing up. You choose your actions before your emotions choose them for you. You become intentional with your routines, your focus, your environment. You don't give your power away to old patterns that kept you average. You decide daily to live on purpose. When you take daily control of your habits, you start to feel something different inside. A quiet strength, a new kind of clarity. You begin to trust yourself more. You stop breaking promises to yourself. That alone will change your life. Because when you trust your own word, when you know you'll follow through, you stop hesitating. You stop doubting. You stop being confused about who you are. Most people live in cycles. They start something new, get excited, fall off, feel guilty, and repeat the loop. But you can break that. You break it by building habits that are simple, repeatable, and aligned with who you want to be. You build them not for short-term pleasure, but for long-term identity. You ask yourself, what would a disciplined version of me do right now? And then you act on that. That's how habits become identity. That's how change becomes permanent. Every day is a chance to sharpen your habits. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to be honest about where your time is going and what it's doing to you. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you improving? Or are you stuck in survival mode, running the same loops with no progress? If you're stuck, it's not because you're incapable. It's because your habits aren't aligned with your goals yet. Real control comes from awareness. You track your patterns. You learn what throws you off. You eliminate temptations. You design your environment to support your discipline. You remove the noise that pulls you back into comfort, and you replace it with systems that pull you forward. That could be a better morning routine, a clear evening shutdown, a tighter schedule, a new commitment to your health. Every new habit is a vote for the kind of person you want to become, and you'll feel resistance. You'll want to skip days. You'll have moments where the old habits feel easier, but you train your mind to push through that. You remind yourself that discomfort is part of progress. You teach your body that you're in charge now, that your actions are no longer ruled by laziness or distraction or delay, but by choice, by vision, by discipline. As you build this, something powerful happens. You stop needing constant motivation. You don't need to be inspired every day. You don't rely on hype or perfect conditions, because you've built something stronger: habitual discipline. That kind of discipline is what allows you to stay grounded when life throws challenges. It's what helps you stay consistent when things get busy. It's what keeps you improving when most people stop. You also start to raise your standards. When you take control of your habits, low-effort days become rare, or you don't settle for average energy or weak effort. You don't allow yourself to drift for too long. You catch yourself early. You course correct. You get back to the process. And that's how progress compounds. You stop wasting time recovering from bad days, because you've built systems to bounce back quickly. It's not about having more willpower. It's about making the right things easier to do and the wrong things harder to do. It's about being strategic with your routines. If checking your phone first thing in the morning ruins your focus, replace it with 10 minutes of clarity work. If junk food kills your energy, replace it with something that fuels your mind. These little shifts may seem small, but done consistently, they build momentum, and that momentum leads to real results. Control also means saying no. No to comfort when it costs you progress. No to excuses that feel good but change nothing. No to distractions that keep you from your goals. And when you say no to the wrong things, you say yes to growth, yes to strength, yes to your future. Every decision you make is shaping your future habits. And the more intentional you are, the more powerful your life becomes. Eventually, you begin to enjoy the process, not because it's always fun, but because you see what it's doing for you. You feel more in charge. You feel less chaotic. You wake up with purpose. You move through your day with clarity. You go to bed knowing you lived with intention. That feeling, that knowing is worth more than any temporary comfort. Your habits become your daily statement of values. What you do with your time is what you truly believe. If growth matters, it will show in how you spend your hours. If health matters, it will show in your routines. If mastery matters, it will show in your practice. You don't need to announce it. Your habits will speak for you. And the best part, the more you practice control, the easier it becomes. Your brain adapts, your systems improve, your results begin to build on themselves. You no longer need to start over every month because you're no longer quitting. You're staying the course. You're building a foundation that lasts. You're creating a version of yourself that doesn't fold under pressure, that doesn't break under failure, that doesn't get thrown off by setbacks. That's what happens when you take daily control of your habits. Your life stops being reactive and starts becoming intentional. You gain control not just over what you do, but who you are becoming. And that's how real change is built, habit by habit, day by day, through your own hands. Number 5. Make 1 hour your most powerful daily investment. The way you spend your time defines the life you create. Every single person, no matter where they come from or what they've experienced, gets 24 hours a day. What separates those who grow from those who stay stuck isn't talent or luck. It's what they do with one of those hours. Just one. When you decide to use 1 hour every day as your most powerful investment, you stop wasting time waiting for change and start creating it. You don't need an extra 10 hours in your day. You don't need a miracle. You need 1 solid hour that belongs to your future. 1 hour that isn't shared, distracted, or diluted. 1 hour where your focus sharpens, your energy rises, and your actions align with your goals. This 1 hour isn't for entertainment. It's not for scrolling or reacting. It's a space you protect, a time you honor. This hour is the hour that shapes your direction. If you treat it casually, it disappears. You don't even notice. But if you treat it as the most important hour of your day, everything changes. You start to move from wishing to working, from waiting to building, from hoping to creating. When that hour becomes non-negotiable, your life begins to shift in ways you can see and feel. Because when you pour into yourself consistently, your confidence grows. And with confidence comes action. With action comes momentum, and momentum is what turns effort into results. Most people don't see the power of 1 focused hour because they underestimate how much it compounds. They think if it doesn't produce a massive result instantly, it's not worth it. But the truth is, small, consistent actions are what build big results. If you invest 1 focused hour every day into growth, whether that's learning a new skill, strengthening your health, building your craft, or sharpening your thinking, you're not just using time, you're multiplying your future options. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. This 1 hour needs to be intentional, it needs to be clear. You need to know exactly what you're building, and then show up for that process. No distractions, no multitasking, no wasting it with shallow work. Because the clearer your focus, the more powerful the return. When you commit to this hour, you start to take yourself seriously. And when you do that, other things fall into place. You start respecting your time. You stop tolerating low-value habits. You begin to plan more intentionally. You create a structure that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. And once that begins, your energy shifts. You stop moving in circles and start moving forward. If you want to upgrade your life, look at how you invest this 1 hour. Are you learning? Are you stretching? Are you pushing your limits? Are you uncomfortable in a good way? Because that discomfort means you're growing. It means you're not staying where it's safe. And that's what investment looks like. It's not always easy, but it pays in strength, skill, and direction. This hour can be used in hundreds of ways. You might use it to write, to train, to read, to reflect, to build a side project, to make better decisions, to map out your week, to audit your life, to design a new system. It doesn't matter what you choose, as long as it's moving you toward the life you want. This hour is about being deliberate. It's about choosing action over avoidance. And this is important. You don't need to feel inspired to use this hour. You just need to start. The inspiration comes after. Most people wait for motivation, but the winners show up first. They trust the process. They understand that the return isn't always immediate, but it's always meaningful. You may not see a dramatic shift after a few days, but give it time. Stay consistent. It adds up. Over time, this 1 hour rewires your self-image. You begin to see yourself as someone who shows up, someone who follows through, someone who doesn't waste time. And that identity is priceless. Because once you believe you are capable of change, you act in ways that reflect it. You take yourself out of the cycle of inconsistency. You stop giving energy to distractions. You focus on the work, and the work starts working for you. Think about this: 1 hour a day is 365 hours in a year. That's over 9 full work weeks. That's enough time to write a book, master a new skill, launch a business, build a stronger body, develop powerful thinking habits, or repair broken parts of your mindset. The problem isn't time, it's intention. The problem isn't ability, it's follow-through. The problem isn't resources, it's routine. You can build a new future from this hour. You can become someone different. You can design a life you're proud of. But it starts when you choose to stop living passively and start showing up for yourself daily. Not with pressure, but with purpose. Not with perfection, but with presence. You carve out that hour and say, "This is for me." Not for anyone else. Not for approval. Not for applause. Just for your own progress. You'll face obstacles. Your schedule will fight you. Distractions will compete. Some days your mind will resist. But this is when you remind yourself why you started. You don't need permission to grow. You don't need to be in the mood to take action. You just need to stay committed to the process. Because when you keep showing up, you keep building belief. That belief becomes stronger than excuses. It becomes stronger than fear. It becomes stronger than the urge to quit. And that's how you build resilience. One day at a time, 1 hour at a time, you keep showing up for that investment. You give it your focus, your energy, your discipline. You stop negotiating with yourself. You treat that hour like gold, because it is. And here's the beautiful part. This investment will spill into the rest of your life. The clarity you gain will help you make better decisions. The strength you build will help you handle more challenges. The discipline you grow will influence every area. Your work, your health, your relationships, your finances. This 1 hour trains your mind to operate differently. It sharpens your awareness. It strengthens your sense of control. It helps you lead your life instead of just reacting to it. You may not control everything that happens in life, but you can always control this 1 hour. That's your edge. That's your foundation. That's where transformation begins. Not by doing everything at once, but by doing something meaningful with consistency. 1 hour every day, with full presence, full effort, and full belief that it matters. Because it does. Your life reflects how you use your time, and nothing pays more long-term returns than a daily hour used with purpose and clarity. Number 6. Train your discipline every day for 1 strong hour. Discipline is not something you're born with, or something that shows up when life feels perfect. Discipline is something you build, something you train, something you decide to strengthen every single day. 1 strong hour a day is all it takes to begin shaping a life that moves with clarity, control, and purpose. This hour is not about how much you can do, it's about who you become while doing it. It's about showing up for yourself with seriousness, with intention, and with a willingness to stay the course, even when it gets uncomfortable. That hour you train discipline is an hour where you challenge your comforts. You tell your mind that you're in charge now, not your feelings, not your doubts, not your laziness, just you making a decision to grow. The moment you decide to give 1 full hour to discipline, you begin to take control over your patterns, because it's your patterns that decide the course of your life. When you sharpen discipline, you weaken the grip of excuses, you stop defaulting to easy. You start choosing what strengthens your character. 1 strong hour of discipline isn't about speed or intensity, it's about consistency. It's about choosing to keep your word to yourself. It's about saying, I will do this, and then doing it. That kind of decision builds trust in yourself, and that trust matters more than motivation. Motivation fades, discipline stays. Discipline shows up even when you don't feel like it. And the only way to make it stronger is to train it every day. Start simple. Pick the 1 hour where your energy is best, where your mind is fresh or quiet or alert. You don't need to feel perfect, but you need to be present. Turn off distractions, shut out noise. Make that hour a protected zone. What you do inside that hour is important, but how you do it matters even more. Are you showing up fully? Are you giving it real effort? Are you being honest with yourself? Because this is where change happens. In the hour where it would be easier to skip and you don't. When you train discipline like this, it starts to bleed into everything else. You begin to show up better in places that used to drain you. You start managing your emotions with more strength. You start finishing things you used to abandon. That 1 hour becomes your practice ground. The place where you build your mental toughness, your emotional control, your patience, your resilience, and those things. They are worth more than talent or opportunity because they can't be given. They have to be earned. You'll notice something as you train this hour each day. You stop needing external reminders. You stop waiting for someone to push you. You begin relying on your own word, your own drive, your own choice. That's freedom. That's personal power. That's what discipline gives you. It gives you authority over your own life. You start living in alignment with what matters, not just reacting to whatever pulls your attention. The truth is, training discipline daily gives you a foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. Life will test you. You'll have distractions, demands, disappointments. But when you've trained for that hour, you've trained your focus, you've trained your consistency, you've trained your ability to keep moving forward. Most people stop when it gets hard. Discipline pushes you through. It's the voice in your head that says, we don't stop because it's tough. We keep going because it matters. And remember, discipline isn't punishment. It's power. It's you saying, I choose to rise. It's you saying, I won't waste my time anymore. That 1 hour is your time to build. Not just results, but your identity. You become someone who finishes. Someone who shows up. Someone who refuses to live below their potential. And the more you repeat that choice, the more natural it becomes. You might use that hour to train your body, or to grow your mind, or to learn a craft. The content can shift, but the discipline stays. That hour becomes sacred. It becomes the signal to your mind that you are building something important. That hour reminds you that effort is your responsibility, that growth is earned, that no one is going to hand you the life you want. You have to show up for it. As you train, you'll face resistance. Your mind will try to pull you away, offer distractions, make excuses. But discipline doesn't argue. Discipline acts. And the more you act despite resistance, the more you win. You stop negotiating with weakness. You stop delaying what you know you need to do. You step into structure. You step into clarity. You step into self-respect. Think about how much of your life improves when discipline is strong. You follow through on your goals. You manage your time with purpose. You eat better, sleep better, think better. You stop rushing. You stop scrambling. You begin to build systems that support success, not sabotage it. You make decisions from strength, not impulse. That's the kind of life discipline builds. And the key is that you train it daily, not occasionally, not when it's convenient. Every day, 1 hour, fully present, fully committed. Because every time you keep that commitment, you strengthen your future. Every time you show up, you're rewriting your limits. You're teaching your brain that follow through is normal. You're building a rhythm that keeps pushing you forward even when motivation disappears. This doesn't mean it's easy. It just means it's worth it. That 1 hour might be uncomfortable. You might feel tired. You might feel overwhelmed. But you keep going anyway. That's where growth lives. That's where strength is forged. That's where you find the pride that can't be bought. The pride of knowing you didn't quit on yourself. You don't need a big breakthrough to start. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up for that hour and give it your honest effort. Some days it will flow. Some days it won't. But you still train. Because discipline is not about emotion. It's about decision. And that decision belongs to you. Over time, that 1 hour becomes your anchor, your reset, your reminder. It becomes the space where you prove to yourself that you're capable of more. It becomes the foundation for habits that serve you long after the hour ends. You become sharper, more focused, more consistent. You stop drifting. You stop doubting. You stop wasting time. And you start living with purpose, built one disciplined hour at a time. Number 7. Build your dream life, one daily hour at a time. Everyone has a dream. But most people leave it sitting on the shelf. They talk about it, they think about it, they wish for it, but they never build it. And the reason is simple. They think it takes something massive to start. They think they need a perfect plan or a lucky break or more time. But what it really takes is 1 hour a day. 1 hour where you turn off the outside world and turn inward. 1 hour where you stop consuming and start creating. 1 hour where you take one more step toward the life you've imagined. You don't build a dream life by accident. You build it with intention. You build it by deciding that every day matters, that your future is too important to ignore, that what you want deserves more than wishful thinking. It deserves action. And the best part is, you don't need all day. You need 1 hour. 1 hour of undistracted, focused, consistent effort. That's where the building begins. The hour you give to your dream is the hour that rewrites your direction. Maybe it's learning a new skill. Maybe it's launching that side project. Maybe it's studying something you've always wanted to master. Whatever it is, it has to matter to you. It has to make your heart beat faster when you think about what life could look like once you've built it. That feeling, that vision, that's what fuels the effort. That 1 hour isn't about perfection. It's about showing up. It's about saying, this is my time now. That's how you break through the noise of life. That's how you reclaim your power. Because most people spend their time reacting, scrolling, replying, surviving, but dreamers, they carve out space to build. And when you build every single day, even just for 1 hour, you create momentum that cannot be ignored. You might not see massive change in a week. That's fine. You're not after a quick fix. You're after a real transformation. 1 hour a day means 30 hours a month. That's 365 hours a year. That's not small. That's serious time. Time used wisely becomes your edge. It becomes the quiet advantage that no one sees until your results speak louder than words ever could. The hour you give to your dreams sharpens you. It forces you to think deeper, to work smarter, to stretch your limits. You begin organizing your time around what matters. You stop saying, I don't have time, and start saying, this hour is non-negotiable. That mindset changes everything. It shows you that you are in control. You are not waiting for the perfect day. You are creating one strong hour today. Building your dream life doesn't require quitting everything. It requires choosing something. Choosing to start even if you feel unsure. Choosing to act even if the goal feels far. That hour you spend is a vote for the life you want. It's you saying, this matters to me. And over time it adds up. You become someone with focus. Someone with direction. Someone who is actually building rather than just dreaming. Don't let the simplicity of 1 hour fool you. Greatness starts in small, consistent pockets of time. Many people waste hours on things they won't remember tomorrow. But when you use just one for your dream, you start stacking meaningful days. You start waking up with more clarity, more fire, more purpose. Because now you're no longer just getting through life. You're building it. The hour might challenge you. You might feel tired, distracted, or unsure. That's okay. Show up anyway. That's where the growth is. That's how you develop grit. Not by avoiding struggle, but by working through it. Every time you show up despite resistance, you're proving to yourself that your dream is stronger than your excuses. That your future is more valuable than your comfort. You start to notice shifts. You become more intentional with your energy. You stop putting things off. You realize that progress is not about giant leaps. It's about daily movement. And that 1 hour becomes the space where you make decisions that serve your highest vision. You adjust, refine, learn, and adapt. But you never stop showing up. That consistency becomes your superpower. As you train yourself to work on your dream daily, your confidence grows. You no longer feel like your goals are distant. They're part of your routine now. They live in your schedule. They become a priority. And when something becomes a priority, it changes how you treat it. You protect it. You give it effort. You respect the process. Because you understand what's at stake. Your future. Some people will question it. They'll say 1 hour can't change much. But they're wrong. 1 hour changes your identity. It separates those who dream from those who do. It takes you from passive to active, from hopeful to intentional, from stuck to steady. And once you experience that shift, you'll never want to go back to drifting. You'll want to keep building, keep improving, keep becoming. That 1 hour is where you face yourself. No one's watching. No one's grading. It's just you and your effort. And that's where the magic happens. That's where you strip away distractions and excuses and get real. You ask yourself, what do I want to create? Who do I want to become? And then you do the work. 1 hour at a time. You might be working a full-time job. You might have a family. You might feel like your time is already stretched thin. But this hour isn't about finding time. It's about making time. It's about saying my dream matters enough to fit into my life today. And once you make that shift, you discover that time was never the problem. Commitment was. Use that hour to learn, to write, to study, to practice, to strategize, to build. Whatever brings you closer to your dream life belongs in that hour. Don't waste it. Don't wait for inspiration. Bring discipline to it. Bring energy to it. Bring consistency to it. The rest will follow. Every day you show up, you're stacking bricks. You're building something solid, something real, something that belongs to you. And over time, the effort turns into results. The hours turn into skills. The commitment turns into progress. And the dream you once saw in your head starts becoming the life you live. Give your dream 1 hour a day. And watch what happens. Watch your mindset shift. Watch your habits evolve. Watch your energy rise. Not because of luck. Not because of shortcuts. But because you earned it. 1 clear hour at a time. Number 8. Turn 1 daily hour into a lifelong transformation. What would happen if you took just 1 hour every day to build a future that excites you? 1 hour where you show up, committed to making a positive change? It's easy to dismiss the idea, thinking that 1 hour won't amount to much. But the truth is that turning that 1 hour into a daily habit is where the transformation begins. Over time, this 1 hour becomes your most valuable asset, the very thing that fuels a lifelong transformation. Imagine for a moment the impact of dedicating just 60 minutes to something that aligns with your deepest desires. It could be working on a personal goal, improving your skills, or working toward a career you've always dreamed of. That 1 hour is where you take full responsibility for your life and future. It's the place where you build momentum toward lasting change, and where you find the energy to push forward even when it feels difficult. We often underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. We think that transformation requires some grand event or a breakthrough moment, but transformation is a result of countless small decisions and actions, compounded over time. When you decide to invest 1 hour each day in something meaningful, you set a course for growth that will expand in ways you can't even predict. That 1 hour becomes the spark that ignites your path toward the life you want. The most successful people in life don't achieve their goals because they wait for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions. They take action, no matter how small, because they know that consistent effort over time leads to incredible results. What matters isn't the amount of time you invest in a single day, but the cumulative effect of investing an hour a day, every day, in something important. When you show up with discipline and intention, that 1 hour shifts your perspective, your habits, and your life itself. Think about how much time we waste on things that don't contribute to our growth. How many hours do we spend watching TV, scrolling through social media, or doing things that distract us from what truly matters? But when you take control of just 1 hour, it's like stepping into your own power. You reclaim your time. You decide to use it on something that will shape your future, rather than letting it slip away into distractions. It's not about doing something massive. It's about starting small yet being committed to consistency. 1 hour might not feel like enough, but trust the process. When you invest that 1 hour daily, you begin to see progress, even if it's just a small step. And these steps add up. Over time, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. That 1 hour a day turns into dozens of hours, months, and years of steady progress toward the transformation you sought. You may be asking, what if I don't feel motivated every day? And that's exactly why discipline is key. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline is what keeps you going. You don't need to feel inspired to start. You just need to make the decision that today, you're going to invest 1 hour in building the future you want. That's where true power lies, taking consistent action regardless of how you feel. Each day you choose to dedicate 1 hour to your future, you're slowly shifting your identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who is in control, someone who is building, creating, improving, and taking responsibility. This transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it builds. Over time, you become someone who's driven by purpose and action. You no longer feel like you're just drifting through life, waiting for opportunities to come your way. You create opportunities with every hour you invest in your personal growth. The key is to approach this hour with clarity. Know exactly what you want to focus on and how it will move you closer to your dream. Whether you're learning a new skill, working on a project, or dedicating time to personal development, each hour should be a strategic effort towards something meaningful. The clarity you bring to each hour makes it powerful. When you show up to that hour with purpose, you transform yourself in the process. As you continue this journey, you'll begin to see something amazing. The hours you once thought were insignificant begin to stack up. You start building real skills, creating real progress, and turning your dreams into reality. And that's what lifelong transformation is all about, using the smallest increments of time wisely and turning them into the foundation for long-term success. When you make this 1 hour a daily priority, you not only change your habits, but you change the entire trajectory of your life. You may not feel like you're making massive strides in the beginning, but trust that every hour counts. With time, your mind shifts from thinking in terms of instant gratification to thinking in terms of long-term results. You begin to see that true success is not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about daily investment. It's about showing up consistently and being willing to put in the work, even when it doesn't feel glamorous. The results will surprise you. As you turn that 1 hour into a daily habit, you'll start to see the fruits of your labor. You'll experience more confidence, more knowledge, and more capability. You'll notice shifts in your habits, your routines, and even your mindset. But it all begins with that single dedicated hour. Think about how much you can accomplish in a year by committing just 1 hour each day to your dreams. That's 365 hours. That's 365 hours of learning, growing, working, and building. When you look back at the end of the year, you'll be amazed at how much you've transformed, how much you've learned, and how much closer you are to living the life you've always dreamed of. Lifelong transformation isn't about one big leap. It's about small, consistent steps, taken day by day. Each hour you dedicate to your growth is a step in the right direction. Each hour builds the future you envision. 1 hour might seem small, but it's the start of something extraordinary. Don't underestimate the power of consistent, focused effort. When you invest 1 hour each day, you're investing in your future. You're transforming your life 1 hour at a time, and that's the path to lifelong success and fulfillment. Number 9. Spend 1 hour daily becoming who you must be. Every day you have an opportunity to grow, to move closer to the person you are meant to be. But growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens through deliberate action. Imagine spending just 1 hour every day focused on becoming the person you must be to achieve your dreams. That hour becomes more than just time spent. It becomes your most powerful tool in shaping your future. You get to decide who you are and who you will become by the choices you make, and dedicating 1 hour every day is your commitment to that transformation. It all starts with understanding that change doesn't occur because you want it. It happens because you choose to act on it. Every moment you spend working on yourself is a moment you are deciding to step into the person who can handle the success you desire. It's easy to get stuck thinking that 1 hour a day won't make a difference, but the truth is the daily commitment adds up. Over time, this 1 hour compounds and you begin to see changes. You become a stronger, more disciplined version of yourself. Think about who you want to be. What does that person look like? What do they think? What do they do? How do they act? Who you must become isn't just a vision or a distant dream. It's a real version of you waiting to be uncovered. But that transformation starts with daily action. Every single hour you dedicate to this growth brings you closer to the best version of yourself. It's easy to say you want something, but the key is to actively become it. You can't wait for it to magically happen. You must do the work to make it real. Your future doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's built every day through consistent effort. That 1 hour you choose to spend each day isn't just time passing. It's time invested in your future self. It's time spent becoming the version of you who is equipped to handle the success you've dreamed about. Every hour counts because every hour you invest is shaping who you are becoming. Think about the small actions you could take in that hour. Maybe it's reading and learning something new. Maybe it's working on a skill or focusing on a project that moves you closer to your goal. Every little step you take adds to the person you are becoming. You're not just putting in time, you are using that time to intentionally build the skills, mindset, and habits that will empower you to be the person you need to be. This isn't about perfecting every aspect of yourself at once. It's about consistent effort in the right direction. By spending that hour daily, you are saying that you are willing to take the responsibility for your growth. You are choosing to act in alignment with your goals and, more importantly, with who you must be to achieve them. What you do in that hour matters because it's not just about accomplishing a task, it's about evolving. Each hour spent working toward becoming your best self is a step closer to making that version of you real. You don't need to do everything at once, and you don't need to have all the answers right now. But what you need is to take action every day. That's how you move closer to your goals. That's how you transform your mindset, your abilities, and your habits. Becoming who you must be starts with consistent action, and it starts with dedicating just 1 hour each day. We often hear that success doesn't come overnight. It's built through hard work, persistence, and consistency. The person you must be to accomplish your dreams is already inside you. Your job is to uncover that person through deliberate action. Every time you choose to invest that hour in your growth, you make a choice to show up as the person you need to be. You become someone who doesn't wait for opportunities, but creates them. You become someone who isn't just dreaming but is doing. The future you desire starts with today's actions. 1 hour every day doesn't seem like much, but the truth is it's everything. It's the daily habit that will help you shape your future. It's the time you spend working on yourself, refining your skills, and strengthening your mindset. Over time, those hours will accumulate, and you'll look back and see how much you've changed. You won't just have worked toward your goals, you'll have grown into the person who can achieve them. We all have a tendency to think of success as something that happens in big, dramatic moments. We want a breakthrough, a game-changing event. But the reality is, success is built through small, intentional steps, and that 1 hour every day is where those steps happen. That hour is where the transformation begins. When you choose to spend it becoming the person you must be, you are laying the foundation for everything that will come after. That hour becomes the spark that ignites your full potential. There will be days when it's hard. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. But the most important part of the journey is showing up even when it's tough. The power of that 1 hour lies in your ability to stay consistent. It's about creating the habit of investing in yourself even when motivation is low. That's when true transformation happens. When you push past the doubts and show up anyway, that's when you start becoming who you must be. That 1 hour is yours. It's your time to commit to your future. It's your time to invest in your personal growth, your mindset, and your journey. Don't let it slip away. When you use it wisely, you take control of your destiny. You become the person who is actively working to create the life they want. Your future self is waiting for you to show up. Every hour spent working on becoming that person is one step closer to realizing that future. This is how you build the life you want, not by waiting for it, but by becoming the person who deserves it through consistent, intentional action. And it all begins with that 1 hour a day.
Number 10. Break your limits using just one daily hour. You've heard it before. We all have limits. You've been told that there's only so much you can do, so much you can accomplish, and so much you can achieve. But what if those limits aren't as solid as they seem? What if your limits are more like walls you've built in your mind? Walls that can be broken down with consistent effort, one step at a time. Imagine breaking those limits, not by doing more, but by focusing on doing the right thing for just 1 hour every day. That's all it takes. 1 hour. We all have self-imposed barriers, thoughts that hold us back from reaching our full potential. It's easy to believe that we can't do something, that we're too old, too young, too inexperienced, or too busy. We often set limits on ourselves without realizing it. But here's the truth. Your limits are not set in stone. They are not permanent. Every limit you think you have is a reflection of your past, not your future. The person you are right now is not the person you must stay forever. The power to break through those limits lies within you, and you have the ability to do it every day. It starts with a commitment of just 1 hour. Think about it. If you spent 1 hour a day working on breaking down the barriers you've set for yourself, what would happen over time? What if every day for just 1 hour you did something that pushed you outside of your comfort zone? You don't have to climb a mountain in one day, but you can take one step every single day. Those steps add up, and before you know it, you've built a new path for yourself. One that doesn't involve the same old limits. This 1 hour can be used to challenge yourself. You can choose to learn something new, tackle a difficult task, or improve a skill that once seemed out of reach. Imagine devoting this time to personal growth. You've heard people say, it's not the big moments that define you, it's the small ones. Every single hour you dedicate to breaking your limits is a small but significant step toward the person you are capable of becoming. We live in a world that encourages us to think big and dream big, but what people often forget is that success isn't achieved in one giant leap. It's achieved through consistent small steps, day after day. Breaking your limits isn't about doing everything at once. It's about focusing on one thing at a time.
That 1 hour can be used to push against the very limits you've set for yourself. You don't have to feel overwhelmed by everything you want to achieve. You simply need to focus on one small thing at a time, 1 hour at a time, and build your way up. This hour is your opportunity to prove that the limits you once believed in are just illusions. It's your chance to push past fear, doubt, and procrastination. Each day for 1 hour you can push through that resistance. It's not going to be easy. Breaking your limits is going to require effort and discipline, but it's also going to require belief. Belief in yourself, belief in your potential, and belief that you can do it. Every time you show up for that hour, you reinforce that belief. You build the muscle of resilience, and over time that muscle gets stronger. Imagine that in 1 hour each day, you focused on something that you've always wanted to accomplish, but never thought possible. Maybe it's a goal, a dream, or a skill you've put off for years. Whatever it is, imagine devoting just 1 hour a day to it. You might not see huge results in a single day, but over time those hours will compound. You will break through your limits piece by piece. Every hour spent challenging yourself is one more hour you're breaking free from the chains you've placed on yourself. In that hour you might not see instant success, but you will experience growth. Growth comes when you push through the discomfort, when you face your fears head on. It's about being willing to do the work, even when you don't see immediate results. The key to breaking your limits is consistency. It's not about finding a quick fix or a shortcut. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and letting the results come in time. It's important to remember that breaking your limits is not about doing everything perfectly. You're not aiming for perfection in that 1 hour. You're aiming for progress. The more you focus on progress instead of perfection, the more you will realize that your limits were never as solid as you thought. Every small action you take in that hour creates momentum. Momentum is what propels you forward. And before long you'll start to realize that the barriers you once thought were insurmountable are now within your reach. The beauty of breaking your limits in just 1 hour a day is that it's sustainable. You're not asking yourself to take on more than you can handle. You're not trying to change everything overnight. Instead, you're committing to daily improvement, 1 hour at a time. The key is to start small and stay consistent. You'll start to see that these small improvements compounded over time lead to big changes. Your limits are not as fixed as you once thought. With each hour you invest in yourself, you start to push beyond what you thought was possible. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let self-doubt stop you from taking that first step. Every time you show up for that 1 hour, you are proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. You're proving that your limits are meant to be broken, that your potential is limitless, and that you have the strength to overcome anything in your way. Each hour is an opportunity to rewrite the story of who you are and who you can become. When you choose to break your limits, you choose to take control of your future. You choose to no longer let fear or doubt dictate your actions. You decide to step into your greatness, to claim the success you deserve. And all it takes is 1 hour a day. Each hour is a building block in your journey to breaking your limits and creating the life you've always dreamed of. It's your time to take that step. 1 hour is all it takes.